Thank you, Mr. Attorney General, for being here today, right over here in this corner.
No. No, thank you. Okay, sorry.
The Equal Protection Clause was incorporated into the Fifth Amendment to prevent the federal government from discriminating against Americans based on race. Do you agree that race is a suspect classification?
Yes, that's what the Supreme Court has held for since the late 1950s, early 1960s.
Thank you very much for that. So the so-called American Rescue Plan earmarked billions of dollars in United States Department of Agriculture debt relief based solely on race. Why are you and your department defending the American Rescue Plan that discriminates based on race?
So I believe you're referring to a district court case in which that's at issue, and so I can't really say any more than is in the pleadings in that case, but this has to do with whether there are additional indicia in addition to race that are used in making these grants, and whether there is sufficient evidence of historical practices that will tie it to race.
So, sir, it's very explicit in the bill that the Democrats wrote in this Congress and President Biden signed into law. They said, this is based on race. I mean, doesn't this meet the standard of that is pure discrimination?
So the question
that our country has tried to rid itself of?
I believe the question has to do with historical patterns of discrimination against black farmers. And I believe that the purpose of what's going on in the district court now is examining the record to determine whether there is a sufficient record in that respect.
So it sounds like you support the legislation then.
The question for us is the constitutionality of the legislation. That's the only question before us. And as I've said with respect to another statute, the Justice Department defends the constitutionality of statutes that can be reasonably construed as constitutional, and we believe that statute can be, yes.
The chairman confines me to 5 minutes, so I'd like to move on. Recently, you directed the FBI to coordinate with 14,000 school districts after the National School Boards Association asked you to protect schools from the imminent threat of parents. Along with friends, neighbors, and constituents, I've attended multiple school board meetings throughout my district here over the last year. I have a child that's in public school yet. Very concerned about some of the things that are going on. And yes, some of those school board meetings get heated. Are we, my friends, neighbors, constituents, are we domestic terrorists?
No.
Are we criminals?
Again, I don't know the facts that you're talking about, but the only way you're criminals is if you commit acts in violation of the statutes, and that would mean threats of violence or actual violence. I am sure you haven't done that, Congressman.
Have states asked for help?
That's not.
The School Boards Association did, but have states asked for help?
So we have state and local partners for all of our matters. This is an assessment of whether there is a problem. And there are federal statutes involved and there are state statutes involved. And we are trying to prevent violence and threats of violence against public officials across a broad spectrum of kinds of public officials.
As a former town board member, I can tell you that we know how to deal with this. We call our sheriff's department. We can handle it. It's really not a problem. William Castleberry, Vice President for Facebook, admitted that the company knowingly allows users to promote information on the platform, instructing people on how to break U.S. immigration law. He said, "We do allow people to share information about how to enter a country illegally or request information about how to be smuggled." Are there charges pending against Facebook?
Again, we can't, under the norms of the department, discuss whether there are pending investigations, actual investigations.
Well, let me help. I understand your answer that you're going to give there. Let me help you along. Title 8 U.S. Code 1324 makes it illegal for any person to knowingly encourage or induce an alien to come to, enter, or reside in the United States in violation of law, or for individuals to aid or abet illegal entry. I would just say to you, you need to really take a look at Facebook and what they're doing to provide for greater illegal immigration that the Biden administration continues to foster also. I mean, let's get down to what's happening here in the United States of America under the Biden administration. We have a two-tier justice system. They do nothing about crime. There's more cash bail, and nothing is being done about it. You talked about increased crime. It is skyrocketing across the country, including in our biggest city, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Time of the gentleman
has
has
parents
expired,
that are
Mr.
silenced.
Jeffries.
You have parents that are
Time of the
silenced.
gentleman has expired, Mr. Jeffries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, General Garland, for your leadership, service to the country, and your presence here today. Earlier